Thanks for joining me for your June 2016 forecast for the month. I'm happy to be here, and if it's your first time joining me, thank you for tuning in and for your subscription. And let's start the month with our new moon on the 4th of June at 14 degrees of Gemini. Gemini new moons, Gemini governs your 6th house of health and work and daily routine, Capricorn. So this new fresh start where you have your new moon, which is all about intentions, exists in the house of working out, diet, health, regimen, the route and routine that you take in the hours of the structure of your day. So set your intentions if you want to create a new regimen or work out with a new trainer. This is the time to do so at the top of the month, just to initiate this and start it mentally so you can take action upon it when Mars is direct as well in June. On the 12th of June, Mercury enters Gemini as well. So this 6th house through June 29th is strongly impacted. Communications and details, the review and analysis of the diet. Some of you might be seeing nutritionists or getting a new health practice in line, receiving information, which is Mercury, on the health, or regarding work and the daily 9 to 5, the grind. Mercury could see local travel as well, or local commutes regarding work and the method of having to get there. Seeing a rerouting is what I'm getting. On the 17th, Venus enters Cancer through the 12th of July. And Cancer is your polar opposite sign, so this governs the 7th house of relationship and soulmates, marriage, partnership, business partnership, the house of the others, the house of hidden enemies as well. On the 17th, it's going to be a tense day. I would circle that, not because of the Venus transit into this partnership sector, which is actually very beneficial. She's attraction and romance. So for Capricorns looking for attraction and partnership, that's a beautiful time between the 17th of June and the 12th of July. But also on the 17th of June, there's an aspect occurring between Saturn, your ruling planet, in the sign of Sagittarius, retrograde, squaring Neptune in your 3rd house of communications. So Saturn retrograde in Sagittarius, in your 12th house, squaring Neptune in Pisces in the 3rd house, has something to do with being uncomfortable in the way you are intuitively feeling something and how you are communicating it. So the 12th house of intuition is squaring up against the 3rd house of siblings, communications, and local travel. So Saturn is the restriction. So you might be limiting, your intuition might be limited at this time. And Neptune is a little delusional in the 3rd house. So what you're saying is wearing rose-colored glasses. So your speech might be smoother than what is really being felt, if that makes sense. Saturn is restricting the dream life as well. Your dreams may have been put on hold. Not your dreams of fulfillment, but your actual REM sleep dreams. So there's some clarity that is missing here on the date of the 17th, Capricorn. So I don't think any huge decisions should come on that day. And I don't think that you should sign anything. I think you need to review what's being said and how it's being said. On the 20th, our full moon is at 29 degrees of Sagittarius, and this is the 2nd full moon we've had in Sagittarius. We had a 1 degree full moon last month. So just making it in at the end in the 12th house. This is about complete closure, Cap. A full moon in the 12th house is bringing a complete ending for the year. It's an annual full ending. The house of endings is the 12th house, and the full moon is the ending itself, the culmination, the awareness. So there's a release, the house of release, endings. And that day on the 20th, or between the 17th and 20th, that square that we're having on the 17th, something is starting there in that 12th house to be maybe a little uncomfortable. Something is being tweaked, and the full moon sees it brought up to the surface 3 days later and either dissipated or released by saying it verbally and getting it out. But there's something in line between the 17th and the 20th that needs to come up and out and squashed. Needs to just be squashed completely. On that same day, the 20th, the sun enters Cancer. The summer solstice is here. Usually it's on the 21st of June. This is the first time I've seen it on the 20th in years. And that is my birthday on the 21st, so I know the summer solstice is usually on the 21st, but it's a little early, you know, the timings change. In the 7th house, on the 20th, this is activated, so the partnership sector, the Sun conjunct Venus in the 7th house of marriage. For those of you Capricorns looking for commitment, this is super energy for marriage, soulmate, relationship, business partnership, if you guys are looking into that. Very strong commitment energy, so it's beautiful. On the 26th, Jupiter in Virgo in the 9th house is trining Pluto in your sign in Capricorn in the 1st house. This is an aspect that is harmonious though, not like a square, not instilling discomfort and change. This is about expansion and elevation and harmony. This trine is at 16 degrees exactly between Jupiter and Pluto in the Earth, between the 1st and 9th house of self, body, foreign travel, belief systems. Your complete belief system, I think, is elevating because the Earth trines, which is giving us so much stability in the areas that it's hitting. For you in the 1st, 5th, and 9th areas, it's about the freedom of what you're believing in and the belief system. On the 29th of June, Mars goes direct at 23 degrees of Scorpio in the 11th house. So we need Mars direct. Mars is governing all of the male energy, so having stamina and energy moving forward is important in the 11th house of friendships and social clubs and groups and organizations. We end the month of June with a grand Earth trine, like I mentioned, in that 1st, 5th, and 9th house when the moon enters Taurus on the 30th. So with the moon in Taurus, Pluto in Capricorn, and Jupiter in Virgo, you have the grand Earth trine again on the final day, smoothing over these sectors. Great time for Capricorns to actually get out and do some traveling. I'm going to get to the cards. I'm using the Alchemical deck by Robert M. Place. That's my steadfast go-to deck. We'll see what comes up for Capricorn for June. And if you'd like to read with me, I read all through the week. I'm at audreyalison.com. You can find me there. And you can book your appointment with me via PayPal, and I will get back to you in a few days. Okay, Capricorn. Here are your cards for June 2016. Two of Swords. Opposition. Opposition in thought and communication. The swords are ruled by Mercury and air. So it's not a physical combat, but it is a mental opponent. A verbal opponent, an argument, a debate, and actively questioning and actively seeking answers. The Knight of Cups, finding answers within, your own intuition. your instinct that is actually being limited for a little while or revamped with Saturn there. Also a young water sign male, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Let's see what else comes up. This could be your opponent verbally, your son even, but let's see. And the Lady of Swords, interesting. Earth, air sign, female, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Also it has to do with writing and poetry and music and written lyrics and words. And even music and expression, guitar. See how she's playing guitar? The Queen of Swords, Gemini, female, Libra, Aquarius. Also, this is a very strong verbal female. Could be fearless, says what she means, and she's a lover and a fighter. You see how she has a sword up and a sword down? She loves just as hard as she fights. Let's see what else comes up. And the Three of Coins, artistry. Yes, some of you Capricorns are making music, are expanding in your talents, connecting with skill and an innate talent, and being paid to do so. Okay. I do believe that this debate could be happening literally with two children, a younger son or a younger daughter, and them listening to the authority figure. It could also be an internal struggle in the 12th house of instinct regarding finding your own answers and what you need to do in order to earn and be creative and to earn a living with your talents. It's your choice. The Queen of Swords also has a decision to make. And there's a duality with the Queen of Swords, reminding me of Gemini and Libra, the scales and the twins. There's, you could go up or down. You could choose one or the other. Do you want to, oh, and that's interesting, the two swords, trip on that. Which way do you want to go, Capricorn? You could have it both ways. If you want to live a life of artistry, you could do that as well as maintain the day job. This is going to apply to some of you, but you might have an overwhelming amount of choices to make, and maybe the choice is that all you need to do is be. Nothing needs to be delivered right now. I don't know why I said delivered, but nothing needs to be delivered right now. So focus on what you want to do with these skills. Some of you writers, artists, musicians, painters, sculptors, all sorts of, and even more 2016 graphic designers and people using computers. It could be all of that type of makeup artists, or that type of artistry. It could be time to cut the cord, though, on the day job and make your choice without regret. The Queen of Swords rarely regrets what she says, because when she does say something, she means it. So there could be an air sign female that's helping you in the artistry area. However this applies to you personally, please make sure you watch your ascendant sign for your forecast as well. And it's been a pleasure reading for you, Capricorn. I wish you a sweet June. I'll see you soon. Remember, the sky is limitless, so reach for the stars.